I'm pregnant, Jessica said casually, buttering her toast like she'd just mentioned the weather. Logan froze mid-sip, coffee burning on his tongue. He swallowed hard, setting the mug down with a soft clink. You're kidding, he said flatly. She didn't look up, focused on spreading the butter in perfect circles. No, it's real. Logan's eyes narrowed. I'm guessing it's not mine. Jessica finally glanced up, her blue eyes flickering with something unreadable. Don't be dramatic, Logan. We both agreed to the open marriage. He leaned forward, resting his arms on the table. No, you agreed to an open marriage, Logan said coldly. I agreed to not throwing your ass out when you suggested it. Jessica rolled her eyes, popping a piece of toast into her mouth. Don't act like you weren't enjoying yourself, too. I haven't slept with anyone else, Jess. Her chewing slowed. Well, that's on you, she said with a shrug. Logan's jaw clenched. How far along? Jessica paused, licking a crumb from her lip. 2 months. Logan laughed bitterly, leaning back in his chair. So, this happened pretty much immediately after you started fucking random guys. Jessica's eyes narrowed. It wasn't random. Tyler and I had a connection. Oh, Tyler, Logan sneered. Glad to see we're back on that merry-go-round. Jessica crossed her arms. Look, I thought this would be easier. I didn't think you'd be so. So what? Logan cut her off, his voice sharp. So invested in the fact that my wife's carrying some other guy's kid? Jessica glared at him, shoving her plate aside. Don't act like I wanted this to happen, she snapped. You wanted something to happen, Logan shot back. Silence filled the kitchen, thick and suffocating. Finally, Jessica sighed, brushing her hair behind her ear. Look, I know this is a shock, but I want to make this work. Logan's brow furrowed. Make what work? Jessica looked him dead in the eye. Our marriage. Logan stared at her, stunned into silence. She smiled weakly, reaching across the table to touch his hand. We can raise this baby together, Logan. You're going to be a great father. He stared down at her hand, cold fury bubbling beneath the surface. But Logan didn't pull away. He let Jessica's hand linger on his, but his grip remained loose, distant. Let me get this straight, he said, voice calm but razor sharp. You cheat, get knocked up by someone else, and now you want me to play daddy? Jessica's smile twitched, but she held her ground. It's not like that, she said, squeezing his hand. This could bring us closer. Logan's laugh was cold and hollow. Closer, he repeated. You think raising Tyler's kid is going to make us stronger? Jessica's eyes narrowed. Don't say it like that. Like what? Logan leaned in. Like the truth? Jessica pulled her hand back, crossing her arms defensively. You're overreacting. Plenty of couples have blended families. This isn't the 1950s, Logan. His teeth ground together as he fought to keep his composure. Blended families happen when people divorce and remarry, Jess. Not when someone starts screwing around behind their spouse's back. She rolled her eyes. You're so dramatic. Logan's hand slammed down on the table, rattling the dishes. Jessica jumped. Don't, Logan growled, pointing a finger at her. Don't sit there and pretend like this is normal. Jessica's face hardened. Well, you could have slept with other women, she snapped. I didn't stop you. I didn't want a Logan shot back. That's not my fault. The words hung in the air, venomous and cold. Logan exhaled slowly, rubbing his temples. So that's your defense? I should have been cheating too. Jessica crossed her legs, shifting in her chair. It's not cheating if we agreed to it. No, you agreed to it. I tolerated it. Jessica waved her hand dismissively. It doesn't matter now. What matters is this baby. We need to move forward. Logan leaned back, arms crossed, watching her like a hawk. Tyler know yet? Jessica hesitated. I haven't told him. Logan smiled, but there was no warmth behind it. Of course not. That'd complicate things, wouldn't it? Jessica bit her lip, avoiding his gaze. I thought it'd be better if we handled this together first, she said carefully. Logan's eyes darkened. Jessica, he said quietly, leaning closer. You didn't tell him, because you know Tyler's not going to stick around. Jessica stiffened, but she said nothing. That's what this is, Logan continued, voice dripping with realization. You thought you could keep screwing around until something like this happened. Now you're panicking. Jessica's face flushed red. That's not true, she hissed. Logan smiled coldly, rising from his seat. Keep telling yourself that, Jess. As he walked out of the kitchen, Jessica's voice followed him. Logan, where are you going? He paused at the doorway, glancing over his shoulder. To think, he said quietly. You should try it sometime. Jessica's lips pressed into a thin line, but she didn't respond. Logan left without another word. He sat in his truck outside Tyler's gym, watching the glass doors slide open and shut as members filtered in and out. Jessica thought she was clever, keeping Tyler in the dark, spinning fantasies of Logan playing dad. Not happening. After 20 minutes, Logan spotted him. Tyler strolled out, duffel bag slung over his shoulder, laughing at something on his phone. Logan stepped out of the truck, crossing the parking lot in 3 strides. Tyler. Tyler glanced up, eyes narrowing the second he saw Logan. Logan. Hey, Mung. What's up? His voice dipped with unease, his hand gripping the strap of his bag a little tighter. We need to talk, Logan said flatly. Tyler glanced around. I gotta get home. This won't take long. Logan cut in, stepping closer. Tyler shifted uncomfortably, licking his lips. Look, I know things got weird with Jessica, but she told me you were cool with it. She's pregnant, Logan interrupted, voice cold. Tyler blinked. What? Yeah, Logan said, crossing his arms. About 2 months. You want to guess who the father is? Tyler paled, dropping his duffel bag to the pavement. Wait, no. She didn't. She did, Logan said, stepping into Tyler's space. And I figured you want to know since, it's your kid. Tyler's eyes widened in horror. Fuck, he muttered under his breath, running a hand through his hair. She never said anything. Of course she didn't, Logan sneered. Jessica's good at keeping things quiet when it benefits her. Tyler took a shaky breath, pacing in circles. Jesus, I'm not ready for a kid, man. Logan smirked. Don't worry. Neither is she. Tyler stopped pacing, facing Logan with a hard stare. So what now? That's up to you, Logan replied. But you better talk to her before she spins this any further. Tyler hesitated. What if I don't? Logan's smile vanished. Then I'll send her family the ultrasound, he said calmly. And I'll tell your girlfriend too. Tyler's face drained of color. You wouldn't. Logan's eyes darkened. Try me. Later that night, Jessica slammed the front door open, stomping into the living room where Logan sat on the couch, flipping through channels. What the fuck did you do? She screamed, throwing her purse onto the coffee table. Logan didn't look up. Nice to see you too. Jessica marched over, grabbing the remote out of his hand and tossing it onto the floor. You told Tyler? Logan stretched, yawning. He had a right to know. Jessica's face twisted in rage. This wasn't your call. Oh, I think it was, Logan said coolly, considering I was supposed to be the idiot raising his kid. Jessica's fists clenched. Tyler's losing his shit. He doesn't want to be involved. He says it's not his responsibility. Logan finally looked at her, expression blank. Sounds like a you problem, Jess. Her eyes flashed with panic. This could ruin everything, Logan. I thought we could work this out. No, Logan interrupted starply. You thought you could pin this mess on me and keep screwing around while I played babysitter. Jessica's breathing quickened. You can't just walk away from this, she said, her voice trembling. Logan stood, towering over her as he stepped forward. I already did, he said softly. Jessica's lips quivered, but she held her ground. Fine, she snapped. If you won't be part of this, I'll raise the baby on my own. I don't need you. Logan leaned in, his voice cold as ice. Good luck with that, Jess. Because once the papers are signed, you'll have nothing left. Her eyes widened. Papers? Logan smiled faintly. Check the kitchen counter. Jessica spun around, her gaze locking onto the thick stack of divorce papers waiting by the sink. No, she whispered. Oh yes, Logan said, grabbing his keys. You wanted to open doors, Jess? Congratulations. I'm walking through one. Jessica didn't stop him as he walked out. She just stood there, trembling, staring at the papers. The divorce papers splayed out in front of her like a crime scene. She traced the edge of the top sheet with trembling fingers, biting her lip so hard it nearly bled. The house was suffocatingly quiet. An hour passed. Then 2. By the time Logan's truck rumbled into the driveway, Jessica's legs felt numb from sitting still. She didn't move when he walked in, tossing his keys onto the counter. "You're home early," she muttered. Logan grabbed a beer from the fridge, cracking it open without responding. Jessica finally looked up at him, eyes burning. "So that's it? You're just leaving me?" Logan took a long sip, leaning against the counter. "I should have left the second you brought up the open relationship bullshit," he replied. "Consider this long overdue." Jessica's jaw tightened. "You're really throwing away everything over one mistake?" Logan's laugh was cold and sharp. "One mistake," he repeated, stepping closer. "Jess, you've been parading Tyler around town like I didn't exist. The only mistake was you not realizing he'd bail the second things got real." Her fists clenched. "I didn't think it would happen like this," she snapped. "No," Logan said calmly. "You thought I'd keep taking it. You thought you'd get away with everything, and I'd just sit here, smiling like an idiot." Jessica's face twisted in anger. "I thought you loved me." Logan's eyes hardened. "I did." Jessica froze. "But love dies when you spit on it enough times," Logan continued, setting his beer down. Jessica's breathing grew unsteady. "This isn't fair," she said quietly. Logan tilted his head. "You want fair?" Jessica's lip quivered, but Logan wasn't done. "Fair is me mailing copies of these papers to your parents. Fair is me making sure Tyler gets slapped with child support while I walk away clean." Her eyes widened. "You wouldn't." Logan smirked. "I already sent the first draft," he said, voice smooth. "Lawyers handling the rest." Jessica shot up from her chair, knocking it over. "You're ruining my life." Logan leaned in, lowering his voice to a dangerous whisper. "No, Dis. You ruined your life. I'm just making sure the wreckage doesn't land on me." Jessica stared at him, chest heaving. For once, she had nothing to say. The next morning, Logan's phone buzzed just after sunrise. "Tyler, you told her about the papers?" Logan smirked as he read the message. "Logan, yeah. She'll probably be calling you soon. Enjoy." A second later, Tyler's response popped up. "Tyler, she's losing it. I don't want any part of this, man." Logan, "Neither did I. Good luck." He tossed the phone aside and stretched, feeling lighter than he had in months. By noon, Jessica's car was gone. Packed up, vanished. She hadn't left a note. Logan stood by the window, watching the empty driveway as the finality of it settled in. The weight wasn't there anymore, just silence. And for the first time, silence felt good. 2 weeks passed without a word from Jessica. Logan settled into the quiet, enjoying the peace that came with her absence. Until she came back. It was late. Logan had just finished dinner when headlights crept into the driveway. Jessica stepped out of the car, slower this time. No flashy outfits. No smug expression. She looked worn out. Logan opened the door before she could knock. "You forgot something?" he asked, leaning against the frame. Jessica clutched a small duffel bag in one hand, shifting nervously on the porch. "Can I come in?" Logan raised an eyebrow. "You need something, Jess?" She exhaled sharply, glancing away. "I don't have anywhere else to go right now." "Tyler." "Let me guess," Logan interrupted. "Tyler finally blocked your number?" Her lips tightened. "He's not returning my calls," she admitted, gripping the duffel tighter. Logan crossed his arms. "And that's my problem, because—" Jessica's eyes flicked back to his, desperation creeping into her voice. "Come on, Logan. You know I can't do this alone." Logan laughed softly. "You made it pretty clear you didn't need me before." Jessica's face twisted. "I thought Tyler was going to step up. I didn't expect." "That's the thing," Logan cut in coldly. "You never expect consequences until they hit you in the face." Jessica's eyes glistened with frustration. "Look, I messed up. I get it. But I'm still your wife." "No," Logan said firmly. "You were my wife. Now you're just someone I used to know." Jessica's mouth opened, but Logan held up a hand. "I'm not interested, Jess. You made your choices. Now live with them." Jessica's breath hitched as she stepped back. "I didn't think you'd actually throw me out. You did this to yourself." Her eyes hardened, the flicker of the old Jessica returning. "You'll regret this," she whispered. Logan met her gaze, completely unfazed. "No, Jess," he said calmly. "I'll sleep just fine." Without another word, Logan shut the door in her face. 2 days later, Logan's phone buzzed. "Tyler, dude, she's been calling nonstop. I blocked her, but now she's showing up at the gym." Logan smirked. "Logan, told you." "Tyler, I didn't sign up for this, man." "Logan, neither did I." Tyler didn't respond. But by the end of the week, Logan heard through the grapevine that Tyler had quit his job and moved out of state. Jessica was burning bridges faster than she could build them. And Logan? He was watching the fire from a safe distance. A month passed. Logan barely thought about Jessica until an envelope arrived in the mail. No return address. Logan opened it slowly, unfolding the single sheet of paper inside. Prenatal paternity test results. His eyes scanned the page, heart pounding against his ribs. Result: 99.9% exclusion. Logan's grip tightened on the paper. He wasn't the father. He laughed, loud and sharp, shaking his head in disbelief, as if there was ever any doubt. That night, Jessica called. Logan answered on the third ring, curious. "I got the results," she said quietly. Logan smirked. "I did too. Hell of a surprise, huh?" Jessica's breath caught on the other end. "Logan, I don't know what to do." "Figure it out," he said simply. "I thought maybe we could still—" Logan cut her off. "No, this. We can't." Silence stretched between them. Finally, Jessica spoke, her voice barely a whisper. "I'm sorry." Logan exhaled slowly. "Goodbye, Jessica." And with that, he hung up. Jessica didn't call again. The papers were finalized 2 months later. Logan signed them with a steady hand, sealing away 5 years of wasted time. By spring, he'd sold the house and moved closer to the city. A fresh start. Thank you for listening the story to the end. Write your thoughts about it in the comments, and do not forget to subscribe. See you in the next videos.